boys and girls, welcome to this here track. Welcome to this old track. I am your host, Norm Abrams. With me, as always, is the man who can't tell sassafras from mustard gas, Michael Magus.
I mean, I would hope I would. I would assume my reaction
It'd give you 18 seconds to figure out the difference.
As it kills.
Good. Mike, what track is this?
This is Nürburgring.
Nürburgring.
The Nürburgers. We are here at the Nürburgring, home of the Schumacher S's, home of the Warsteiner curve, which is one of your favorites. Home of that twisty section at the beginning that doesn't really have a name. I mean, it's called the Mercedes Arena a lot of the time, and there's a lot of accents there, so Byron likes that part of the track as well.
Yeah. Wait, what?
So he's here for that. And we are here for the 6th round of the ESR GT Challenge series that takes place on Sundays, every second Sunday. And if you want to check it out on Race App. And let's just run down the standings before we get into this whole shebang here. So your championship leader coming in today by 50 points is Max Simmons, who's up there in 4th place on the grid. Very nice. We've got Dan French in 2nd place, followed by Thomas Jopek, who is in 1st place at the moment. Dan French traveling down in 9th place. That's surprising. Sean Kenny is in 4th place. Dominic Turcotte is absent from today's grid, but he is in 5th place. Then it is Ayrton Arsenault, also absent, in 6th place. Xavi Castaño-Muniz, Albert Arjona, Vincenzo Senatore, and Spencer Taft rounding off your top 10. And we also have a Cup Championship. This is for the slightly less talented drivers. You can see them there with the silver numbers beside their name. And that is led by Ayrton Arsenault, who is leading by a lot. 24 points ahead of Spencer Taft. Jeremy Reeder is in 3rd place, followed by Oscar Tan, followed by Mark Sabalski, Connor Constantini, Devin Tullock, Thomas Waz, Anthony Willis, and Joshua McLaughlin, who is absent today. And we also have a team championship that is currently led by Red Bull Racing, but there's not really much going on in the team's championship. It is unfortunately kind of very settled. So looks like we're going to have No Pick, Braun, Dale, Simmons, Castaño-Muniz, Terekoff, Kenny, Reeder, French, and Taft, your top 10, followed by Franson, Silvestri, Arjona, Sparks, Butler, Willis, Tan, and Suzukawa.
Suzuki.
I do like Suzukawa's name. It has a nice ring. Rolls right off the tongue.
Suzuki Kawasaki. That's what it's short for.
Might be. It's possible.
It's hyphenated.
So we're riding with somebody who's doing some victory donuts there on the start-finish line. That's a little dangerous, guys, but okay. It was Bjorn Dale, by the looks of it. As we wait for a couple people to finish up their laps here. We still got Dan French out there, Spencer Taft, Silvestri. Oh, Silvestri just finished. Albert Arjona. I think Albert Arjona will be the last one to finish. He's car 12 there, making his way through the towards the chicane. So he'll be the last one to put up a lap time. And there we are. We are ready to go. Did Arjona move up on the grid there? No, still 13th. Okay. So Albert Arjona having a rough time. He's a really fast driver, so seeing him down in 13th place is pretty odd, pretty unusual. Normally towards the front. Looking for any other big surprises? Not really. Everyone else is kind of a little bit where we normally expect to see them in this field. No pick at the front. Braun, Dale, Simmons, Castaño-Muniz, Terekoff. Dan French is a little far down there in 9th place, but we'll see what he can do. He's in that Red Bull liveried McLaren 720S that you see there in 9th place. As we hop on board with Sean Kenny, you can see Dan French in the mirror in the background. And of course, the cars that are jacked up, as you can see with the rear wheels off the tarmac, those are the guys who are still looking at their pit menus and maybe making some last-second adjustments to fuel load and tire pressures, pit stop strategy perhaps, or just trying to keep the tires warm because you don't want to hop in too early because then you end up with the cold tires at the start, and that could be a little bit dangerous.
What if you just did a big-ass brake stand for the entirety of this particular section?
I do feel like my co-commentary partner Byron here would just love it if people just sat on the grid for like 5 minutes before the race and let the tires cool all the way down for
Yes.
all the carnage.
Wow, 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 wow. Scourge and into the wall.
There's a fair amount of runoff here, so I don't think we'll have anything in the wall, but we'll see. We'll see. It can be messy.
Lionel Messi.
Looks like Bjorn Dale is in the wrong livery because he is shown with a black car, and we do not discriminate against the black car, but that's not the livery he's running.
They do look better in the shade.
You can see how blank his car looks. That's usually what happens when you're running a custom livery that the whoever is recording this, in this case, this would be the spectator PC, does not have. And since Dale is not a custom livery user, I think he's made a mistake.
Error.
As we work our way through the chicane and on our way to start this race off. I was going to say, Chris Braun's a little too far ahead there. He needs to get into position to help us out here with the start here. He is now. As we go through the final turn here, on board with Bjorn Dale. As we wait for the green flag to signify that this race is underway, and is now. We are racing at the Nürburgring. Chris Braun got a good jump at the start there. Looks like he might have the lead into turn 1 there in his Audi Evo 2. Ahead of pole sitter Tomas Nopek, but no, Nopek goes down the inside. Plenty of room to work with there. And Bjorn Dale slops into 3rd place. Max Simmons into 4th in the anime-decorated Mercedes-Benz.
This then Japanologies type cartoons, yeah.
And then, of course, Byron rooting for the Gulf liveried Porsche there of Xavi Castaño-Muniz.
Hell yeah, give her Shaggy.
And also in the mix there is Kuzya Terekov, Sean Kenny going side by side. Kenny winning out on that particular battle. Nopek far ahead, along with Braun. They've kind of established themselves. There's Kuzya Terekov in the Nitro Corsa Lexus, the only Lexus in the field. Lexus RCF, which we do not see a lot of in the in terms of racing anymore at this point. Seems like kind of a doomed GT project, unfortunately.
Doom, go now.
Throughout the field, we got Dan French up to 8th place, Jeremy Reeder and Gianmarco Silvestri rounding off the top 10. Then it's Arjona, Franz, and Tad has gotten a good start up to 13th place, as has Jeff Suzukawa, who's up to 14th place. Willis in 15th, followed by Butler, Taft, and Sparks. So Taft has gone very backwards. He qualified much higher than that and is now back in 17th place. Suzukawa and Tam, 2 big winners of the start. Chicane for the first time at speed for Bjorn. Oh, Bjorn Dale off the track. That'll cost him a spot. Max Simmons takes 3rd place there, the championship leader in the anime car. In the background, Terekov going side by side with Castaño-Muniz battling over 5th place. Sean Kenny also in the mix. And it will be Terekov. Dan French is actually in the mix now. All right, Dan French up into 6th place. Good run from him so far. Contact! Dan. In the background, that was Castaño-Muniz and Sean Kenny going off the track.
Kenworth, you bumped my car.
Indeed. Kenny getting into physicality there. Dash Franzen and Stanislav Sparks have fallen quite a ways off the pace, so they may have had a coming together as well. Oscar Tan up into 12th place. To pay attention to Bjorn Dale. See, Bjorn, this is why you bring the right livery, my man. It's a very plain looking car you got going there.
Maybe he was just Bjorn to lose.
Jeremy Reeder leading the way in the club category today, up in 7th place. One of his major rivals and teammate Ayrton Arsenault absent today, so a chance to try to take the lead, maybe. Let me just check the math on that real quick. No, he cannot. He is in third place. He cannot overtake Arsenault today. Spencer Taft can, but Spencer Taft is also down in third in the club pecking order.
Might I recommend that he just drive a lot faster?
That would be an option. But, I mean, I think that's an option everybody's trying to find, and if they haven't found it yet, that probably means that there's some limitations at play.
Well, I mean, it's pretty simple, man. You just, like, that gas thing, you just push it harder, and if you push it real hard, it goes faster.
We did have one driver who was actually having a problem with the gas pedal not giving 100% pressure, actually, so that was interesting. They are racing with I believe they are racing this race with an exceptionally large upper end dead zone to the gas pedal, which means that you have less throttle control and less fine control, but it did allow them to get 100% throttle, which they were not getting in practice. Like, I noticed that one car was, like, bizarrely slower than when I normally see them. I hopped on board and watched the, if you enable parts of the HUD, you can see the inputs, like the metal stuff, and I noticed that the throttle was never going to 100%.
Oh, weird.
So, it was an interesting problem. Not one that necessarily has been solved, but was worked around for the race. These things happen with pedals sometimes.
Technical difficulty.
Hopefully they have come up with a more correct remedy, I suppose, is the word I'm looking for. So it is Nopik still leading for Braun, Simmons, Dale, Tarakoff, the man you have on screen right now, Dan French, Reeder. Castano Muniz is still in 8th place, so he's doing okay. Albar Honup in 9th. Gianmarco Silvestri in 10th. So Sean Kenny tried to murder, or, well, something happened with Sean Kenny in one of the Golf Porsches, but it looks like Muniz has continued without any particular problems, to be honest. Still up in 8th place. Fell back a little bit, lost a spot, I think, to Dan French as well as Jeremy Reeder, but that's about it. We've lost, I believe we lost Stanislav Sparks from the race. Notice that we dropped down to 17 cars. I think he is the missing party.
It ain't no party unless you're the missing party.
Ain't no party like a violent hell's party. Human tornado!
I would agree. But what about Barry White Driver?
Ah, the Barry White Driver, Mr. Super Dragon.
Indeed. Any of those out there listening not familiar with what we're talking about, don't be shocked. It's wrestling.
James Butler has overtaken Oscar Tan for 12th place, or 11th place, pardon me. Got Sean Kenny in the background there, recovering from his off. He's up on the tail of Tan. And in the background, a battle between Spencer Taft and Jeff Suzukawa. On board with the number 89 car, Oscar Tan. Sean Kenny's looking for a way through here. Might have a shot. They're coming up to the Dunlop and Ford curves. Jeremy Reeder looking back at Chevy Castano Muniz.
If Oscar beats you really, really bad, does that qualify as a high tanning?
It does. It does.
Excellent.
Jeremy Reeder in the likely team's champion car, the Red Bull Racing Crew. They are quite a way ahead. I will provide the exact numbers. Coming into this race, they have a... what's that, 33 plus 29? That's going to be 62-point lead. So, quite a bit.
Awesome.
The trio of Spencer Taft, Jeremy Reeder, and Ayrton Arsenault. Not a single ace driver on that team, by the way, and they are leading AXRT and Nitro Corsa, who have certainly a more impressive resume. Be interested to see if AXRT, who's in behind there, decides to play team orders with Arjona and Castaño Muniz, because it looks like Arjona might have a little bit of a faster car, and maybe Xavier will allow him to chase for higher positions. They're one of the more well-oiled team machines. Honestly, it's stunning to see them in second place in the team's championship to an organization like Red Bull. They've done a fantastic job. Their third car, Josh McLaughlin, has had a terrible season.
What have I told you? They're just sandbagging.
Then I would ask why, I guess, in a nutshell.
For dramatic effect.
Dramatic purposes. I'd like to say hello to my new teammate for the 3D Speed Series. The Mike Magus and Paul Riccobeni connection are back.
Whew, hot damn.
Seeking that tag team gold. As Sean Kenny there has a little bit of a rough run through the chicane. If you need a name for the chicane, it's the NGK chicane, but really, it's the chicane. Actually, that was the Schumacher S's. My bad. So Schumacher S, NGK chicane, two big chicanes on this track. The Schumacher S is, though, a full throttle, or at least as close to as you can get, section of the track that is incredibly difficult. It is the place that the newer drivers tend to get caught out by far the most. But Sean Kenny is a veteran. Sean Kenny is probably like number 2 or number 3 on the all-time ESR start list, actually. Be like him, Martin Edmonds, John Barker. Probably the top 3.
But what about Julio De La Villa Jr.?
He's on that list too.
And Akbar Villanueva.
I don't think we have anyone named Akbar in the community. Could be wrong.
Maybe you should.
I mean, we are open to people of any name.
Anybody except Gunther.
We had a Gunther for a bit.
Did we?
We did. Didn't stay long, but he was here for a little bit. Ooh. Door open there for Reeder. Reeder looks a little bit unsure of himself through the Dunlop hairpin there. Might be a place to attack him. We'll see if that happens. He's got two veteran and incredibly skilled drivers on his tail.
Both of them named Julio.
Well, one named Xavier, one named Albert.
Which is just short for Julio.
They are all Julios in the eyes of Byron.
That's not totally accurate.
ESR does not take any ownership of the racial views of Byron Dirksen.
Wow. I was paid to say this directly by Martin.
You were not.
That's probably, also probably not accurate.
Oh, Oscar Tan off.
Uh-oh.
Losing it through the NGK chicane, he'll lose a spot to both Spencer Taft and Sean Kenny.
So we'd appreciate it if you keep your shenanigans on the track.
Indeed. Generally speaking, it is faster to be on track than off the track.
Unless you can find the really, really cool shortcut.
I mean, there's examples of that, but most games will penalize you, frankly, for that kind of exploit.
They will nuke you for more of it.
Ooh. James, I wonder if that's where James Butler had his technical issues, because he is off the track. And at that point, but my understanding is his VR headset decided to go full black screen on him, and that is the end for the lone Nissan GTR in the field. James Butler out of the race. We're down to 16 cars. Last place running is now Jeff Suzukawa. Interesting. He's lost out to both Anthony Willis and Dash Franson.
Dashiell Hammett. Noted playwright.
Oscar Tan getting a little overcooked there into the Dunlop hairpin. think this is the longest we've had Oscar Tan on our screen in all season long, to be honest.
I believe you are correct.
I enjoy his livery that he's created there. Mind you, just a preset pattern that's in the game, but I like the color combo. Stands out. Picking up 905 Racer team leader Dan French, running in 6th place, 2nd in the championship coming in today. In the background is still Jeremy Reeder taking on AXRT. We get the inside look at the BMW M4, Byron. What do you think about it?
I believe it is gauche and unfortuitous.
Chris Braun keeping Thomas Nopick pretty honest actually today, keeping it within 2 seconds at the front. We've been pretty used. Oh, actually, Nopick's behind him. How did that happen? How did we end up with Chris Braun in 1st place?
He figured out how to turn a no pick into a yes pick.
I wonder if Nopick must have made a mistake at some point because he was, comfortably ahead. We'll see. We'll have to keep an eye on how that progresses. So I was looking at the gap and saw it was like closer than usual. I just assumed Nopick was in 1st place. That's how dominant he's been. But not the case today. Chris Braun in the Audi Evo 2 out in front of the Porsche 911 and the Mercedes AMG Evo of Max Simmons. Speaking of Max Simmons, there he is, championship leader.
How come they never made a
a
Porsche 912?
Well, because I think you just stick with what works. The 911 is a classic car that no one really wants to. I mean, it probably is the most classic car model in existence because it never left. It's just 911, 2012, 2013, 2014, etc. They don't change it, which is interesting. Because even things like the Corvette series have over the years developed different series and different names. We're on the C8 now.
What I would like to see is somebody take a 911, stretch it out an extra 7 or 8 feet, and make the googly eyes on the front even bigger and googlier by at least 100%. And that would be the 912.
Kind of a limousine.
Yeah.
Porsche. There you go.
Yeah, but you still can only get 2 people in it.
Still only seating for 2 people. Okay.
Yep. Because you got to have room all the way up front because you're going to add all them extra pistons.
We're adding 7 feet of engine. I got you.
Yeah. It's going to be like a straight 14.
That could be very interesting.
None of this V shit. All straight power.
Jeremy Reeder has the AT&T on his car on the week of May 20th.
Very nice.
Pay your bills. If no one gets the BattleTech stuff, May 20th is a holy day for us BattleTech fans, and that's kind of all it is. And the whole week is holy around it.
Holy, holy.
It is to use Texas' exact description of it. When a space telecom company destroyed invaders from the outer rim of the galaxy. Heading through the fast lead up here to the NGK chicane again, and we hop on board with Bjorn Dale, who is following Max Simmons in close procession. From the most eye-catching car in the field in the anime Mercedes to the least eye-catching carbon black of Bjorn Dale.
Stealth.
It is definitely stealthy.
Stealth technology.
If we were doing a night race, it would be virtually invisible.
Perhaps he rides at night.
Are you suggesting that he's Knight Rider?
That's possible.
Yeah, I have a sudden desire to go watch some old True Thicket fights.
I'm not sure why, but carry on.
I mean, he was an exciting fighter. He was a good scrambler, always going for back control, looking for the rear naked choke, and yelling Knight Rider.
Perhaps you should introduce this man to Javier Perez Torres.
Javier Perez Torres definitely would have a very Drew Fickett-like fight game. That is true. That is very true. Also, Drew Fickett will forever be the guy who was the first person to beat Josh Koscheck by stoppage.
Oh. But not the last.
No, not the last.
One of those mans was a Brazilian counterterrorism son of a bitch.
Mm-hmm. I think Paulo Thiago actually was the last person to finish Josh Koscheck in the UFC.
Could be.
It was not finished much. Say what you want about Josh Koscheck, and there's a lot to pick at. The man was definitely tough and durable.
He was and is a terrible person.
I don't think he's necessarily a terrible person. He's just an idiot.
Last person to finish him in the UFC was a bunch of motherfuckers.
Oh, okay. Johnny Hendricks would be one.
He went on a... he ended his career on like a 6-fight losing streak.
Yeah.
5 of those were in the UFC.
Yeah.
Robbie Lawler, TKO, knee and punches. Tyron Woodley, KO punches. Ellenberger, Jake... Not the other one. North-South choke. And then Eric Silva, guillotine choke. And then he was kicked out of the UFC.
I do remember the Eric Silva one, yeah.
He kicked him out of the UFC for being terrible.
I don't remember the Jake Ellenberger North-South choke. I might have to go look that up.
I don't know. Yeah, I don't know. Not
That
sure.
feels like something I'd remember, but I'm not recalling it.
The pit is now open.
But GSP stole his soul.
Well, yeah, I mean, he definitely wasn't the same after that. I mean, his face literally wasn't the same after that.
Don't talk that shit. You won't be able to talk that shit anymore.
Pit window is now open. All of these cars must make one stop for tires, and it is suggested, but not required, that you take some fuel at the stop. This allows you to run a little bit lighter during the race, because the stop is a minimum of 30 seconds stationary. Chris Braun under pressure from Thomas Nopick, which begs the question: does Nopick cut in for an early pit stop and get some free air in front of him and do his thing?
Yes, Picky would.
Jeff Suzuka in the background, who has been lapped. Let's see, does he dodge into pit lane? That is the question. We're not too far away from the pits right now. The last turn up ahead as they go through the engine case chicane. No undercut yet. Might be a little bit too early. I think there's a lot of freedom here, though. I don't think, unlike Zandvoort, which is the last race we did, I don't think that there's a lot of limitations of the tires here. I know at Zandvoort, because of the left side load on the car, particularly the left front tire, there is a need to not look at undercutting too early, because you'll end up with a pair of tires that is just going to blister and grain badly down the stretch. But we'll see. As Xavi Castaño-Muniz is one of the early pit stoppers. Looks like he's going to go for an undercut of Jeremy Reeder and his teammate Albert Arjona also hitting the pit lane. There might also be some damage on Castaño's car from that contact with Sean Kenny. It didn't put him too far down the order, but there could be something that they want to get some fixing done on there as we ride with... the rear wing of Dash Franzen for a second there, which didn't make a lot of sense, and now we're with Chris Braun.
Chris Pronger.
Chris Bronner, not Pronger.
Oh, my bad. Sorry, playoff hockey. 'Tis the season.
It is the season. We are down to the final 8.
And all of those are the Quebec Nordiques.
No, we got the Battle of Alberta going on, the Battle of Florida going on, which might have ended last night, actually, because I know the potential elimination game was there if Tampa Bay won. A couple other cars have been in the pits, by the way. Spencer Taft, Oscar Tan, Sean Kenny, not surprising. Probably has something wrong with his car. And Anthony Willis have been in. We'll see how that goes. Of course, Welcome to the time where ESR plays the game. Is anyone gonna pit after Max Simmons pits? Because he'll probably go very late in the pit stop window.
It's a hard no.
I mean, it depends. It depends if somebody thinks it's going to be tactically worth it. Again, and a stop-go penalty for speeding in the pit lane for Anthony Willis there, as Chris Braun is getting very impatient with one of the Red Bull cars. It's going to be Spencer Taft, probably because Reeder is not pitted. About some blue flags. And this, of course, is the problem when the pit stops start happening. Is, of course, the guys who were going in early have now been put off of the lead lap in some cases, and now there's some traffic to deal with, and you navigate and negotiate and try and figure out what would be the best time to get in the pits. If I'm Chris Braun, I'm staying out as long as I'm at the very least. I don't know, actually, because like my problem is that I've spoke to Chris Braun about, like, you know, his impressions of some of the other drivers, and like No Pick is one of them, and No Pick is really, really fast. And I wonder what he thinks he can play as far as a pit stop sequence here to possibly try to take this win.
I think the better question is, do you think that Chris Braun listens to the Braunstrom theme song on repeat the entire time he's racing?
Probably not.
What? Why?
I feel like that would be distracting.
No, man, it's empowering. Braun! Da, 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 and he just like goes charging forward.
It is a great one. Now I'm just remembering the feud between not Baron Corbin, guitar guy Elias Sampson and Braun Strowman with the I'm not done with you yet. Come get these hands. While strumming at a gigantic cello.
Yup.
But going back to the strategy, I mean, the key to Braun, I think, is he's got to play track position. So he's basically, ideally, perfect world, he wants to pit at the same time as No Pick, beat him on pit road, come out ahead of him, and maintain that position. But the problem is, he has to figure out when No Pick's going to pit to make that work. Max Simmons under pressure from Bjorn Dale. As Anthony Willis is in to serve his stop-go penalty. Oh, contact! Bjorn Dale nudging Max Simmons.
Record scratch. Yup, that's me.
Indeed, Dale does not take advantage, though. Jeff Suzuka slips through to unlap himself. That's about it.
You best unlap yourself, or I'll rip off your muffler and pour oil down your neck. Bonus points to anybody who can name that reference. Tonight's reference night.
Is it never not reference night?
No.
We're being completely honest.
But I do enjoy the fact that we ask our own trivia and then answer our own questions by looking things up while we're doing this.
Indeed. Well, because we hunger for knowledge.
Indeed.
I'm a little bit disappointed more people didn't try the F1 podium game and post their results, because I only got, I managed to bully RC and Adam David Brosh into doing it. That's about it.
Alan David Coe and No Show Jones.
Come challenge my knowledge. Bring it.
How many F1s
Bjorn Dale
are in a bag?
Bjorn Dale in the pit lane there, so he's going to go for the undercut on Max Simmons, although, I mean, undercut Max Simmons. Essentially everybody undercuts Max Simmons. We've been through this. And nobody else in yet. Everybody else is working for at least probably about halfway point. Got 32 and a half minutes to go. Dan French is in. So yet to pit Braun, No Pick, Simmons, Reeder, Silvestri, Franzen, and of course Jeff Suzuka, who I think Suzuka did pit, but it was outside of the window because he's not anywhere near anybody. So he's having either the roughest race known to mankind, or he has in fact been in the pits and it just didn't count for his pit stop. Gianmarco Silvestri in. Dash Franzen's showing a fair bit of damage there, actually, to the front end. See the discolorations around the side of the car as well. It has not pitted yet, so must be feeling like the car is, for the most part, behaving as expected. I kind of like the honeycomb pattern on that car. It's a little bit interesting.
Interesting in a way that reflects your Hamilton heritage, color-wise.
No. I will say, though, that there is a Golf option for that Audi, and no one's driving it, so, you know.
What?
I'm driving it in 3D speed. It's going to be me.
You what? Who the fuck doesn't take the goddamn golf for guys? Throw you all in the garbage. Trash.
Not everybody loves the Golf livery, sir, but I'll tell you who does. I'll tell you who does. It's the AXRT boys, Albert Arjona included.
Yeah. Albert Arjona and the shaggy Frankie Muniz guy.
Xavi Castaño.
Yeah, that's what I said. Good old shaggy Frankie Muniz and his brain trauma.
Jeremy Reeder in the pit lane.
Is he on reading break?
Well, I mean, you could read while you're in the pits. You'll be in the pits for about a minute, maybe a minute and change for the pit stop.
Hit up Cliff Notes audiobook.
Looking through the grid to see if anybody's made a big jump Dan Frangen into the pit lane as well. Not really seeing anybody who's pulled off a win in the pit stops yet. Everyone is still more. Well, Castaño Muniz has jumped Dan French. So the question is, did Jeremy Reeder also jump Dan French? We'll find out because he's in the pit lane now. As we ride through the whole pit sequence, it looks like here with Dash Franzen. Looking for the pit stall. Looking for the pit stall. Found it. Picks up Kozia Terekov, who is on the tail of, that is, I think, Anthony Willis. So that's a blue flag car. Yeah, it's the BWT car. And there is Jeremy Reeder coming out of the pit lane. So Terekov gets out ahead of him. But Reeder will have at least a little bit fresher tires towards the end. We'll see if he can make that work. Also came out ahead of Castaño Muniz. So looks like Dan French just had a bad pit stop. Looks like he's slotted back a couple of spots. Albert Arjona also a bit of a bad pit stop. I do wonder if that was perhaps damage repairs could be the answer. So we're still waiting on Simic, Simmons, Braun, Nopik, and Suzukawa to make their mandatory pit stops. And if you do not make a mandatory pit stop in the window, it is a, depending on the circuit, could be a 90-second to a 2-minute penalty.
You mean they're going to add 90 seconds to a 2-minute penalty?
No, they add 90 seconds or 2 minutes. The penalty is based on the length of the pit lane, so different tracks have different penalties.
That seems arbitrary, and I approve.
So Spa-Francorchamps, which has a massively long pit lane, is the biggest penalty. Whereas somewhere like Bathurst, which has a pretty small pit lane, is pretty limited. A smaller penalty. Castaño Muniz on the tail of Jeremy Reeder. So these two have both been in the pits. They've run their different strategies, and they're still battling each other. So no one really winning out in the pits between these two. But they did both jump Dan French, so French definitely had a rough pit stop. On board with the Porsche of Xavier Castaño Muniz. Number 36 car. Nopik has been in the pit lane. So Chris Braun, I assume, will be in shortly, unless he thinks he can run some really good laps here and hope that Nopik gets caught in traffic. Only problem is I don't think Nopik is going to get caught in traffic. He'll probably come out ahead of Bjorn Dale. The only really blue flags to worry about are Willis, Franzen, and Suzuka, it seems.
What if I told you Max Simmons still hadn't pitted?
I'd believe you, because I can see that that is indeed the case. Through the NGK chicane again. And into the final curve for another lap of Nürburgring in the books for Jeremy Reeder, who still runs in 6th place.
Only until he starts putting people in the wall.
He's got a lot of pressure coming his way from Xavier Castagna-Muniz, and Dan French, I think, is catching up to them just a little bit. Gap is 3.3 seconds between Muniz and French. French has so far been the only real loser out of the whole pit stop strategy here, as Xavier tries to go around the outside of the Dunlop hairpin, but that's not going to work. I think going around the outside of the Dunlop hairpin is going to be a tough ask for anybody. It's just not really an overtake that really tends to work.
Well, not with that attitude.
I don't think it's a matter of attitude.
You're just going to drift at high speed, that's all.
Still waiting on the pit stops of Chris Braun and Max. I'm surprised that Braun has gone this much of an overcut, but we'll see. We'll see if it works out for him. It's hard to say because of how long the first sector is. We're not really getting a picture of what the gap between Braun and Nopik is, so it's gonna be hard to tell if it's working. He's got 3 more minutes to. 3 more minutes to get into the pit lane, and this is about a 2-minute lap, a little bit under. I think the fastest lap, probably about a 1:54 that we'll see today. And Jeremy Reeder still running in 6th place. He's got himself a little bit of breathing room as well, back to the Porsche of Castagna-Muniz. Well, 2.5 minutes left in the pit window. We will see Max Simmons pit somewhere next time he comes across the pit lane entrance, but we'll see if otherwise he's going to get a penalty. And he's never gotten a penalty, so he's good about coming in at the end of that run, as Jeff Suzuka is in the pit lane. So what do we got for battles? We've obviously got the Reeder versus Muniz battle. They're not too far away from Kozya Terekov, and Dan French is catching them. That gap is down from 3.3 to 2.5. So he's getting closer. little bit of a battle between Oscar Tan and Spencer Taft might be brewing as well. We'll have to keep an eye on the gap there between 11th and 12th place.
That would be about 32 feet.
Anthony Willis looking back at, I believe that's Albert Arjona. That'll be for a blue flag scenario as Willis runs in 16th place or 15th place. Picked up a spot there over Suzuka. Anthony Willis has been a driver who's been improving by leaps and bounds on a round-by-round basis, so it's good to see him still out there chugging away, getting those points. Small field today, and that means that there's a lot of points on offer. Chris Braun is in the pits. I expect we'll see Max Simmons. There he is. He's in the pits as well. So Simmons is the last pit stopper of the day. Surprise, surprise.
I'm shocked, horrified, appalled, flabbergasted, and bamboozled.
Shocked. Maybe not that shocked. Albert puts the blue flag on Anthony Willis and moves through at the... Oh, but he overheats it to the Dunlop hairpin. And Willis is pretty considerate to let him get by quickly.
Yeah, I think you guys would have an easier time with this if you stopped using, or started using different pins. The hair ones don't seem to work out for you.
Works out for some people. Chris Braun out of the pit lane.
The pit window is closing now.
And we wait for Max Simmons to rejoin to see where they pick up. They'll be shown in first and second right now, but that is because we do not have a timing gate reading on them yet. Find out at the end of the first sector if they've come out ahead of their respective battles with Nopik and Dale, the two leading Porsche-men. Why is he so embarrassed? He just gave us the Reich salute. Last time we heard that, they were trying to kill us. No hard feelings. We were doing our best to kill them back. But
It's all fair and good.
Not checked out the Exiled Fleet audiobooks. I recommend trying them.
It's too late. They've already exiled them.
Nopik has come out well ahead of Braun, so he's got about a 6.2 second gap there. I don't really think that there was a way for Braun to work it that he came out ahead. But I do kind of think that the idea of like going with the super long overcut probably wasn't the best approach. But we'll see if he can make up 6.2 seconds. Bjorn Dale has come out ahead of Max Simmons, so like both the overcuts have not worked. Kazia Terekhov in 5th place, followed by Jeremy Reeder, Castano Muniz, Dan French, Albert Arjona, Gianmarco Silvestri, Oscar Tan, Spencer Taft, Sean Kenny, Dash Franzen, Anthony Willis, and Jeff Suzuka here with 18.5 minutes to the end of the race, and nobody has to pit. Hopefully everybody's got the fuel on board and the tires to make it to the end, because Martin Evans is in here to destroy tires. Spencer Taft has caught up to Tan. That gap was 2 seconds last I looked at it, and it's down to 0.3. You can see it on the screen right now. And that's an important battle for second place in club standings. And since Spencer Taft is trying to make the best of this situation to make up ground against Ayrton Arsenault, his teammate but also rival, he'll want to make... Oh, that got a little bit pinchy. It's a fair overtaking attempt, though. That's the RTL curve. That's a good overtaking spot. And a mistake through Warsteiner is going to open the door for Spencer Taft, who takes the position. And we'll see if Oscar Tan can come back at him at the NGK chicane, and I do not think he can. Castano Muniz has gotten a little bit of breathing room back to Dan French again. That gap is back up to 2.5 seconds. Haven't gotten a good look at the pace they're running. The only time we'd get a pace update is when they go across the start-finish line, and we happen to be on board with them. And I'd be intrigued to see what the pace is like out there. So we still got a good battle here. Tarakov, Reeder, Muniz, French, all pretty close together, 5th through 8th place. Could change hands. And further back, Tan and Taft are close together, but I do kind of think that Spencer's going to pull away in that fight. To just get that feeling that he's maybe got that little bit of extra speed. He caught up to Tan very quickly. Let's see what the updated gap is now. Wow. Oh, my lord. The gap is opened very large. Still don't. There we go. Tan is behind Sean Kenny now. And Dash Franzen. So Tan has gone off at some point, I think. We did have a yellow flag going. And going again. Where is Oscar Tan? Because I suspect he is the cause of the yellow flag. Where is the 89 car?
It's just after 88.
Well, the 88 car is not here today. That's actually Ayrton Arsenault.
Well, dang. Maybe he's so far behind, you just don't even know.
Now, I wouldn't normally think that this is actually a battle to look at because I rate Sean Kenny very highly as a driver, but he is losing ground to Dash Franzen pretty quickly, so that battle might pick up at some point. Gap is down to 4.6 seconds. Looks like we've lost Oscar Tan. I wonder if he had a similar failing to James Butler with the VR headset.
I prefer the RR headset. It's the real reality.
Real reality headset. I don't know if you really want that, though.
They blast bugs in your eyeballs. It's great.
I feel like at that point you're just wearing a headset that tells you about things that you would be experiencing outside.
It's actually just a real helmet. That's all it is. And then they throw cars at my head.
Oh, Jeremy Reeder spinning out in the final turn. That's going to cost him 2 spots easy. It's going to be both Muniz and French through.
Did he read the wrong line?
Looks like he might have. Not sure. We didn't get a great look at it, but I assume he clipped the curb there in the final turn and spun himself sideways. Ron is catching up to Nopik, but not really fast enough for me to think that there's much in play. I was kind of hyping up that Franzen and Kenny might have a showdown. Doesn't look like it's going to be the case. Franzen is faster, but it looks like it's only maybe a second or two, or a tenth or two per lap. And whatever problem Kenny is having probably won't open that door. So not a lot of intriguing battles right now on the field.
Wow, hurtful. They're trying their best out there, Michael.
Yeah, sir. It's not a critique of skill. It's skill to avoid being in a great battle out there. That also comes into play. People are consistent and putting up good times. They are feeling the pressure and just not letting it crack them. Except for apparently Jeremy Reeder. Dan French in 7th place. This is gonna be a bit of a problem for him championship wise. Came in today second in the championship and Well, after the DNF in Zandvoort, he was really needing a good result. He's been second twice this season, and has also got third place, 3 podiums in 5 races, and now he's back in 7th place. And with Max Simmons up in 4th place, that's going to open up even more of a gap, because the gap was 50 points coming in. So any hope of Dan French being your GT Challenge champion, it's hard to see it coming. Doesn't mean the championship is over. Max Simmons is out in front right now, but Thomas Nopick, who is looking for his 3rd consecutive win here today, winner at Zandvoort, winner at Silverstone, looking to add Nürburgring as well. He's definitely the coming man right now.
Might I recommend commencing to place people within the barrier area?
Top 5 will see a change, I think, because Dominic Turcotte, who's in 5th place, is not here today. And just doing some quick math in my head, it'd be Xavi Castaño-Muniz who might be entering that top 5. He's currently in 6th place, which is on pace to score 30 points. Yep, he would move ahead of both Ayrton Arsenault and Dominic Turcotte. Bjorn Dale would move into the top 10. Vincenzo Senatore would move out. That's the livery that Paul, by the way, wants to run in 3D speed. What are your thoughts?
Horrible.
A Monster Energy livery? Not a fan?
I mean, his name is not Kyle. There's no drywall anywhere near the track.
So are we going to refer to Paul Riccobetti as Kyle Riccobetti all through 3D speed? Arjona, running in 9th place. He's had it's been a mixed bag for Arjona because, like, on one hand, he didn't qualify very well, so being in the top 10, a solid result. But it also feels like it could have been it could have been a lot better for him. And it's not really been. But it's been a rough season for Albert Arjona. Started off with that podium at Kyalami, was great, but then the DNF at Barcelona, and hasn't been in the top 5 since. We're used to seeing Albert as a force for the championship, but it's not really been that way. New faces like Nopick and French have come to the front. Max Simmons has been consistent, something that he has battled with in the past. Ayrton Arsenault has been a revelation this season.
Is Ayrton Arsenault and Ayrton Tobin going to have to battle to the death? Loser leaves Ayrton?
Indeed. I mean, I feel like I got to back Arsenault on that one. He's been a regular part of the grid lately, and Ayrton Tobin's been shunning ACC, so,
Is it because he's been playing Excite Bike?
Could be. I think it's because he just has never been particularly interested in the ACC content, to be honest.
Or is it because he is now a member of the electric scooter racing circuit?
There's an electric motorbike series now.
I know.
They call it Moto E. It's
E-scooter.
The Moto GP championship organization.
No, there's an e-scooter. Javier posted it up in general chat yesterday, day before.
There's an e-scooter racing league?
Yeah, dog. Check it out.
Cool.
It's the best of all things.
That'd be cool.
They go pretty slow, and there's no risk of danger. But the passes are pretty neat.
Dan French being caught by Jeremy Reeder, who's trying to recover from that spin earlier. Chris Braun we're on board with. He's made up some ground on Thomas Nopick. Let's see what time he's running here. Was at a 54.7. Now a 54.9. So quite a bit quicker. Interesting, Kuzya Terekov, who's in the top 5, has only got a best lap of 56.5. So not really on the pace of the leaders, but good enough. And has Castagno Muniz trying to hunt him down there for that top 5 spot. Would be kind of ironic if Muniz managed to get a top 5 position that got him into the top 5 overall. Or shall I say, the chop 5.
Could be, but only if you were a chop guy.
Only if you're a chop guy. This is probably where the eyeballs will be for the remainder here. I think there's some other interesting things. There's French versus Reader going on for 7th place. That's up for grabs. So we'll probably see a little bit of that. But there's not really anything else up for grabs right now. People are doing a good job out there. Gaps are just a little too stable and a little too large.
And it's the battle for Hoover Dam as the NCR trying to pull away.
Nitro Corsa Racing Black.
Oh, this is not the new California Republic? My bad.
It's not.
I thought we were having some Fallout races.
Nah. There is a team that in the endurance race I'm doing coming up that is running a Fallout livery, which is very cool. Sean Kenny, best lap of 57 flat, ran a 58.2 last time. So not quite on pace right now. Gap back to Dash Franzen is 3.8 seconds. Doesn't really have any forward mobility. He's about 15 seconds behind Spencer Taft. The car up ahead of him there is it would be a lapped car or a car that has lapped him. I'm not sure which is the case.
Both of them.
Couldn't quite make out who it was or what the car was. Kuzya Terekov has opened up a little bit of a gap. 0.8 of a second back to Castagno Muniz. Three and a half minutes to go here at Nürburgring. We'll be heading off to the Hungaroring for round 7 next, before heading to Imola, Suzuka, and Laguna Seca. So 4 rounds left in the championship after this one, which is a total of 200 points up for grabs. Means that the championship is still pretty wide open, mathematically speaking, but it would involve some of the top runners putting up some zeros, specifically Max Simmons.
But what about
Terekov a little bit rough off of the Schumacher S's, but he's got the inside line into RTL curve.
What about Jensen?
And Shabby took a look there up the inside of the Warsteiner curve, but did not find anything to go on. A little bit too far back at the NGK chicane to really make anything work. Dangerous to try to overtake through here, but it is possible. But the Lexus's ground clearance should be a little bit of a safety net there. They can handle a more aggressive line through there than most can. What's the lap times here? 58.1, a little bit shaggy.
Shaggy. Ooh, ah. Mr. Love, I love it.
Wasn't me. Oh! Muniz gets the move done through the second turn there in Mercedes Arena. Nice move.
Missed
He
a
just let
bombastic
Terekhov
passing on
went
the
out a
track
little bit
stick.
wide there, and it got Muniz through. That's 5th place. I don't know if Terekhov is going to be able to come back at him. It seems like, now generally speaking, I've raced the Lexus quite a bit. It has a bit of a higher tire wear. Terekhov did go into the pits reasonably early in the pit window. I don't believe he's on, like, terrible tires or anything, but it does feel like that might be a bit of the case, that we are talking about a car that, once overtaken, might not have the rubber to make the comeback. You can see him going. We saw him go wide a little bit there through Mercedes Arena. We saw just a little bit of a wide there through the Dunlop hairpin as we hit the final lap for Thomas Nopik. And the interest might be more. Dan French is sniffing around Terekhov for 6th place. Jeremy Reeder in the background as well. We know Reeder went pretty deep, so he's probably got the best tires of the bunch. But he also had a spin. So it's possible that has given him some graining, flat spotting, or otherwise tire issues.
His tires are now Septagon.
Rough time there through the final turn there for Terekhov. But he's got one more lap to go to defend against Dan French. And he will take home a 6th place finish. Gianmarco Silvestri is under pressure from Spencer Taft. I didn't think Taft would catch him, but it is on the line here. They're going to have one lap after this. See if the Audi can get past the Ferrari there and get himself a top 10 finish today. And oh boy, he thought about it at NGK Chicane. He bailed out, but it was side by side there for a moment. And Reeder is hoovered up onto the back of Dan French. He wants that Schneef.
Gonna hoover the Chief?
Going hoover the Chief. Took about 15% off there, squarely down. Oh, look, the floor.
Your tires are hot, Wayne.
I regret nothing. I regret nothing. Dan French gets very wide there through Dunlop, and Reeder took a sniff. Nopik does win his 3rd consecutive race. And Chris Braun takes 2nd place. You can see the checkered flags appearing as those results become final. Not really sure why we're with Albert Arjona right now. There's a couple of good battles I'd love to be looking at. Silvestri versus Taft. The battle for 6th place. Can we get the camera there, please? Bjorn Dale is rounded off the podium. Max Simmons in 4th place with the championship leader. There he is. Can we get a look at the battles, please?
Nope.
Doesn't look like it. Doesn't look like it. Instead, we're going to look at Max Simmons sit still. Go to the pit lane.
Your winner, Max Simmons, with a time of
Castagno,
1,000
Muniz,
miles an hour.
Terekhov, French, and Reeder do indeed finish that order. It looks like Reeder might have had a problem. He fell back at the end. I would have liked to see that, but we weren't looking. So that is what it is, I guess. And the only other one is, will Silvestri or Taft take 10th place? It's going to be Taft! He got past him at some point.
Got an 1/8 of a second of action. Alberto El Arjona Jr.
Albert Arjona, 9th place. Spencer Taft currently hanging on. Gets the job done against Gianmarco Silvestri. He gets himself a top 10. And we'll have Sean Kinney take 12th place probably. Dash Franzen, Anthony Willis, and Jeff Suzukawa also your finishers. I will apply the scoring while people finish up.
Is that true?
It is very true.
What if I told you they were already done?
Well, I mean, I can see that is the case, so I do believe you.
Sparks Butler with 2,500 points and penalties due to not pitting.
All right, championship standings. Max Simmons still leads the way with 242 points. It is now Thomas No Pick with 3 straight wins on the hop and 4 overall. He's on 200 points, 42 back. Dan French in third, followed by Sean Kenny. Xavier Castagno-Beniz and Albert Arjona are 5th and 6th. Dominic Turcotte, Ayrton Arsenault, Bjorn Dale, and Spencer Taft, your top 10. In the club standings, it is going to be Ayrton Arsenault by 4 points over Spencer Taft and only 7 points over Jeremy Reeder. Oscar Tan is in 4th place, followed by Mark Sapolsky, Anthony Willis, Connor Costantini, Dash Franzen, Devin Tulloch, and Thomas Waz are your top 10. And in the team's championship, it is with 377 points. Red Bull Racing leading the way. AXRT did outscore them today. They're on 324 in 2nd place. Nitro Corsa on 237. 905 Racers on 231. 121 for 613. Deep Sea on 16 points. And Oni-san has not scored since Kyalami. They have 11 points.
Damn.
So that is today's race. Join us for Nürburgring in 2 weeks' time. 3D Speed will be starting up in June. If you have not signed up, please do. We got plenty of room on the grid. And Byron, do you have any final thoughts?
Michael, I have a question for you.
Okay.
What is Riker's favorite state?
I don't know.
Indiana.
That's a good one.